Hello everyone. Today we are going to gain knowledge about economics. What is economics? Why we study economics? The scope of economics, different categories of economics. All this we'll study. This is one of the chapter in class 11th GSEB. Now, what is economics? The economic is a study of choices or choice making. In life, each and every individual make choices. So, economics studies that how far and how good you are in making choices. Choice making is relevant for every individual, families, societies, institutions, areas, state, and nations, and for the whole world. Each and every individual, whether it is state, nation, country, they have to make choices. Hence, economic has wide applications and relevance to all individuals and institutions. So, in terms of application of economics, has a wide area because each and every institutions are also making choices. Nobody is spare out of it. चॉइस लेनी पड़ती है लाइफ में. Now, meaning of the word economic. The word economics originates from a Greek word oikonomikos. Now, this word is made up of two parts. This Greek word is of two parts, that is okios meaning home, nomos meaning management. Hence, economic means home management. Now, it has been derived from the Greek word, and economic used to mean, home management in earlier stages. Now, economic activity has been classified into two parts. First is economic activity, and the other one is non-economic activity. Economic activities are related to the production, distribution, exchange, and consumption of goods and services. Production is that transformation of input into output. When you transform raw material into finished goods, that is also called as production. The primary aim of the economic activity is the production of goods and services with a view to make them available to consumer. Now, whatever the manufacturing units are producing, their main or their motive is that the consumer should consume their product so that they can get return. Non-economic activities which do not have any economic motive and are performed with a feeling of love, sympathy, humanity, patriotism, are known as non-economic activity. Those economic activities are concerned with monetary transaction, whereas non-economic activities do not have any monetary transactions motive. What non-economic activity consists all about is feelings, emotions, all this out of love. If your mother is serving you a dinner, that is non-economic activity. There are some examples, please look to it. Playing, dancing, giving donation, a housewife cooking for a family, or a boy helping an old man cross the road. These are all the non-economic activity where you do not have any economic motive or monetary transactions involved in these activities. Now, economics is so far classified into two parts, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomic deals with the decision making of single economic variable such as demand, price, consumer, etc. Whereas macro, it deals with the average and aggregate of the entire economy such as national income, aggregate output, aggregate saving. Now, please understand that micro deals with only and only individual demand. See, if I talk about demand of sugar industry, that is an example of microeconomics. In case of macroeconomics, it is economy as a whole, the demand for whole of the sugar industry, that is being considered by macroeconomic. It is in narrow scope and interprets the small constitutions of the entire economy. Now, the scope is very limited because it focuses only and only individual unit, whereas in case of macro, it has wide scopes and interprets the economy as a whole. ये पूरा economy जो है वो बताती है. Economy as a whole, when I talk about it, is macroeconomics. It is also known as price theory because it explains the process of economic resource allocation on the foundation of relative prices of several goods and services. It is also known as price theory. The other name for microeconomics is price theory because it explains that how far the economic resources has been related, because resources are limited and as a result their allocation should be proper in order to get proper benefit. Whereas in case of macroeconomic, it is also known as income theory because it explains the changing level of national income of an economy during a period of time. Now the other name for macroeconomics is income theory. What kind of level of income is changing, what kind of consumption the individual are doing, all these points have been considered by macroeconomics. It deals with the flow of various factors of production from a single owner to a single user of those resources. Now जो भी factors of productions are four, that is land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. How far the single owner or the user is using it. It focuses on only and only individual units, whereas macro considers economy as a whole. It deals with the circular flow of income and expenditure between different sectors of an economy. There are four sectors of an economy, that is production, consumption, then government and the rest of the world. Macroeconomic deals with these four sectors of economy. Now in case of micro, it helps in developing policies, appropriate resources and distribution at firm level. How far the resources has been distributed and what are the correct and right policies to make your individual unit more profitable. All this is been dealt by microeconomics. In case of macroeconomics, it considers in developing policies, appropriate resources, distribution at economy level such as inflation, unemployment, etc. These are the major issues which are to be considered by macroeconomics, that is inflation. Inflation is nothing but the substantial rise in the price is called as inflation, and unemployment is that the person is willing to work and able to work but cannot find work in the prevailing wage rate. Now one of the very important aspects of economics is that major economic problems is to be understood with the help of charts and graph, because a picture says 1,000 words. By seeing the graph you can understood the meaning or the information very clear. So there are various types of charts which you will be using to describe economic problems. Now what is bar diagram? Bar diagram, there are three types of bar diagram. Over here I am talking about simple bar diagram. A bar diagram is a chart that uses either horizontal or vertical bars to show comparisons between categories. Now bar diagram is to be drawn in a graph paper where you can see x-axis and y-axis you need to put down, but please understand when I talk about simple bar diagram, it considers only and only one variable. As you can see in this picture, the one variable considered over here is the temperature. What is the temperature and the number of rooms? It shows information collected by counting. Now another form of a bar diagram is a multiple bar chart or a multiple bar diagram. Both are the same. A multiple bar chart is used to represent distinct values for more than one item share in the same category. See, when I talk about this example shows two variables such as import and export. So multiple bar diagram shows more than one variable, the comparison becomes easier. Now what is subdivided bar diagram or subdivided bar graph? Subdivided chart is used to represent data in which the total magnitude is divided into different components. You need to get the total first and then you need to bifurcate. Why is subdivided bar graph used? Subdivided bar graph helpful in representing the total number of elements in a group. Now what kind of elements this group considered, you can be knowing with the help of subdivided bar graph. Subdivided bar graph also helps in identifying and comparing between different components. The comparison becomes very easier and within nanoseconds you can see and you can calculate. Just by seeing only you can observe the data and you can interpret as well. Now over here there is the total population which has been divided into two parts, that is number of boys, number of girls and the total number of students. Now see over here in this graph where you can see that is what is the total, how many of them are girl and boy. So this is how subdivided bar diagram is drawn. Now one of the very important graph or a diagram is pie chart or pie diagram, pie graph. Each one of them signifies the same. Now it shows the distribution of parts within a whole quantity. That is, key pie chart is a circular diagram and in which different components are being plotted by calculating. Of course you have learnt what is the formula for calculating pie diagram in junior classes. This is also one kind of a chart or a graph with which you can interpret the data and you can easily carry out your research work. Now what is the importance of economics? The first one is to how to distribute resources, because as you know the resources are limited, human wants is unlimited, so the distribution becomes a crucial part. So economic helps in how far and how well we should distribute so that we can get profit out of it. Second one is how to achieve social efficiency. Social efficiency is also very helpful because man lives in a society and he is not isolated, so he has to take care of society as well. Then give information to make informed choices. Over here you should be well informed to make better choices. Forecasting is also one of the very important aspects of economics, that is the forecasting helps us to bear any repercussions of future. How to fix market failure? In case of market failure, it helps in making decisions. Understanding consumer behavior and opportunity cost decisions. These are the importance of economics. In short, we can tell that economic activity is the central activity in human life to satisfy human wants of goods and services. He needs to earn income and spend on it. Economic also deals with the statistical information that can be represented in the form of a diagram or a graph. Different type of graph and diagram is to be used to calculate statistical problem. Thank you.